very, very close succession over his former team. How cool would that be? You look at the scoreboard and you can see that the players have those World Championship titles. They earned them all at the same time.
They are still rocking those cards, by the way.
Oh my gosh, they're my favorite. My favorite people here.
So is Turbo Pulsa.
Turbo Pulsa. Oh my gosh. Turbo completely mimicked them as close as he could.
And Violent Panda as well. The only person not is K-Dop. He's like, I'm too cool for this.
This is my favorite game right now. You'd think it was like the Swedish Brisk Summer Series, not just Europe. Well, you got EnVyUs in the blue, Gale Force eSports in the orange. Best of 7. Winner takes home 2,500. And it'll be Devo trying to clear it out. Turbo Pulsa dropping a shot. Maestro got to get the clear. Send that one away. As Devo rotates back, K-Dop in the air. Send it into the corner. Turbo Pulsa keeps this pressure on. Gale Force eSports looking to score first here. They'll fall back, don't like their positioning or their boost levels. We'll give EnVyUs an opportunity. But they create some false space, look for a clear, and then immediately pounce back in. Devo's got to get a clear. He can't get it. K-Dop gets the first goal. Leave it to the dude that's not wearing the fat lady hat.
I think this all goes to Violent Panda, though. Following that up and getting that off the backboard, leaving Devo, not allowing him to get that pinch on the ground, which is, I think, what he was left with. He wanted to try and get a hard hit towards the ground, but following that through and killing it right there, let his teammate K-Dop come in for the secure.
They've got the Ripper wheels too, with the spikes out the side.
It's the most beautifully ugly car I've ever seen.
This is amazing. Remco in the midfield to try and play it past Turbo. Bounce it back and let Devo put it into the corner. Violent Panda misses the touch on the wall. This gives an opportunity. Maestro's going to shoot. Take advantage of that one. We got a tie game.
I guess the best mind games are unintentional whiffs. He went to go up for this, and then Violent Panda's like, I'll get it. He had no idea.
Missed in the midfield, too. I missed that one.
Yeah, I think Violent Panda ran in a boost the last second because when he landed, I didn't see him use any more trying to catch that up into the net. I think last second he just misjudged his angle. He couldn't recorrect himself with the boost that he had. And it's going to be an easy tie-up.
See Turbo Pulsa over to K-Dop. Shot is wide of the net. Remco with all the space in the world can't get it past Violent Panda, who had a long time to read that one. K-Dop will take another shot towards the net. Maestro gets the block. It does not go in, but they got to get it clear. So Remco and Devo spaced into the corner. Maestro will move himself into the middle, position himself a bit better. Now Violent Panda in the orange corner. These past two players is just Maestro in the back. As K-Dop plays this one down. Devo rotated in from the side. He's got it into the corner. He's all by himself. Got it past all the defenders, but it's high. No one else on EnVyUs saw the opportunity to score. 140 left to go here, or 240 left to go here, rather, in game number 1. Tied up at 1 apiece.
I think everyone on this field has successfully out-dribbled at least one player so far. Everyone is very comfortable with slowing it down and trying to dribble out one person, but we're always getting caught up by the second one because they're not yet seeking each other out. Again, the first game feelers trying to see what type of team you're playing up against.
Maestro's touch sends this one above his own goal. And EnVyUs coming off of their slobber-knocking win over the Leftovers. Completely destroyed them in that 5-game series. While Gale Force eSports coming off of a sweep over Flipside Tactics. Not as dominant, but it was a complete sweep. Not dropping a single game. Both these teams feeling so good here. This tournament probably going to run the distance of 7 games here. Our grand finals. Turbo up, puts onto the backboard, pulls Devo up with him. It drops soft, but Maestro will play it to the side. And then we'll have Violent Panda in. Remco on the 50-50. Leo for his teammates. They go for the long clear, but it's a full corner, and they'll be able to transition immediately. Violent Panda back into the box. K-Dop to try and set up for Turbo, who is airborne to try and drop this in off the backboard. It goes over to the corner. K-Dop demoed in the midfield. This opens up some space. Remco's got Devo in support off to the side. He'll take the shot towards the net, and Violent Panda will get the clear. But Maestro in. The shot was on target, but Turbo Pulsa there clears it away. 1:13 left to go. Still tied up in game 1.
Gale Force with 11 shots on target right now.
That's crazy.
10 shots on target right now, which is kind of insane, to 4 by EnVyUs. But all 4 EnVyUs shots have been pretty threatening on target, needing somebody to try and come out of net to make kind of almost a last-ditch save.
Turbo Pulsa upfield. Remco intercepts Devo towards the backboard. Pulls up Violent Panda. K-Dop rotates him behind. Final minute of game 1. Maestro falls back. K-Dop tries to make this one last as long as possible, hoping Maestro would make the mistake, and he able to just set it up there for Turbo Pulse. So that's the lead for Gale Force.
K-Dop realizing he didn't have this air dribble, so instead he just body blocked it and then essentially tried to go for Maestro, but it didn't matter. He landed uncomfortably on the side of his car. He couldn't recover, and it left his teammate with an easy shot. Turbo Pulsa putting one up for himself.
Well, as I was saying, by feathering his boost there, he makes that shot, that encounter happen later and later, where Maestro is forced to make a decision. In the end, he's not able to clear it away, and Turbo Pulsa just capitalizes. But here comes Maestro on the other side, tying it up in this final minute.
Turning it around, and immediately he's now the only one to score so far in the series for his team, but Remco beautifully putting that to the corner. That is the sweet spot. You see it happen. A lot of times people aren't always ready for it, but it's the perfect spot on the corner that comes right back out. It separates the ball from net so a defender can't get to it as easily, and if your teammate's there waiting for it, it should be a great shot for him.
Turbo's touch picked up by Remco. Oh, and that drops straight down, pulls out all the defenders open net, but he's not able to get the final touch to cross the goal, and Turbo Pulsa will send it away. Now Devo airborne, tie game with 12 seconds left. He wants the win here in regulation. Maestro keeps the pressure on, and Violent Panda will put it over to the side with 5 seconds left. Both teams seeing if they can put it away before we go to overtime. No, game one will have a golden goal.
Why am I not surprised?
Because both these teams are really good.
There, you know what? I just couldn't think of that. Thanks.
You know, yeah, I got you, man. Got your back. Devo in the corner. Put that one back out. Remco's there, off of the touch from the corner. Bounces uncontested off the backboard. Turbo's there, but he just kills it right in front of his net and passes out to Violent Panda. Here's an opportunity to 1v1. Can Violent Panda get it past Devo? He puts it behind him! How did this happen? That's Gale Force with the win!
Look at how late the second flip was. He wanted to try and bait Devo as long as he could. Then he just continued boosting, forcing Devo in a tight spot. That's the second time that they've scored that way. Just pulling out a defender, making them, they're either you come for this or I score now.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because I'm going to score in a second because you can't stop this.
It's forced them to take the less ideal situation up front, and then once they miss it, they're like, well, what do I do now? Yeah. By delaying the interaction, you force them to make the bad decision. What plays here by Gale Force as they continue their undefeated streak. They have not dropped a game today. And this is EnVyUs we're talking about. Yeah. They've consistently faced off against more and more dominant opponents, and they've still continued this here. This one they had to go to overtime, close to dropping it here as we saw them tie it back up within 30 seconds. But my goodness, Gale Force is on fire.
They're playing well, and I'm loving seeing Turbo Pulsa on a roster. I know that when he went in with Team EnVyUs, formerly known as Northern Gaming, he was their sub, and he knew that. And I think they knew, like, you performed really well for an event, but you don't just break a roster up to put a sub on there. As unfortunate as the situation was, he performed as well as he possibly could. And he was a player that hadn't been around all Season 3. He wasn't on a team that made it into league play. He was their substitute. But apparently he's been grinding because holy hell, this guy's been doing everything he can to really bring it up for his team. And I'm not saying taking anything from K-Dop or Violent Panda.
I mean, this is a stacked lobby right now. The least decorated player on the pitch is Violent Panda. Who is considered one of the best in the world. Like these players, you can see it just on the titles there. The lowest, the kind of cheapest one is grand finalist of Season 2 or Season 3. These guys, so much power on this pitch right here. EnVyUs is going to look to tie the series back up. They're dropping game one. Can Gale Force continue their undefeated streak?
The last one, I think, was a bit too close for comfort, though, bringing it to overtime.
They've won 8 games straight. We'll see Gale Force move up on the side here. K-Dop towards the backboard. Go to set it out to Devo. Get it past Violent Panda. Moves up past another into the corner, but Turbo Pulse is there. The shot was upper 90. The clean block to the side. Violent Panda picking this one up on the wall. Dribbles it high on the wall around his corner. Now up in a redirect position. He'll fall back. Not comfortable with his situation, but K-Dop gets the angle. Maestro will save it away. But the fact that K-Dop was able to wrap it around the post, those sorts of plays that made him the European MVP.
Yeah, I mean, these are 3 players. You look at everyone on Gale Force. They've all had phenomenal shots throughout any of their career in the RLCS. They know how to pull it off when they need it. Violent Panda working so well with Hashi previously to this. And I'm excited to see where this roster goes. And the fact that so early on in their roster career as a group, they're performing this well. But EnVyUs is clearly nothing to laugh at.
Maestro Picks this one up, slows it down. Violent Panda was expecting him to pass it off the wall. But he keeps it on his hood and is able to put it all the way to the orange corner. Draws up 3 defenders. Devo very, very far in the back. Had he been a bit more upfield, it probably been a scoring opportunity. Violent Panda now moving this downfield. Kate up in support. Devo gets it underneath the inbound offender. Turbo Pulsa. Violent Panda trying to play the defense, but methodical dismantling. Did you see the demo from Devo on the back line, opening up the shot?
Devo just went all the way back. He stole their boost, saw K-Dop coming in, decided to destroy him, although I think actually K-Dop probably would have had that save. As tough as it looked and as fast as it was, a bit of a pinch as well off of his opponent's hood. I think K-Dop would have had that, but not when you're exploded.
Yeah, no, when you don't exist on the pitch, it's hard to block anything. But he was far post in the proper place for where the shot ended up, and Turbo Pulsa had the rest of the goal covered. Opened up the smallest window of possibility, and Remco capitalizes. 1-0 EnVyUs here in Game 2, as they are trailing 1-0 in the series. Another shot from Remco. Will it go the whole distance? No. Violent Panda puts over the side. Now Devo tangled up in the net. K-Dop has to try and clear this one quickly, but the pressure continues here from EnVyUs, as Devo was able to get out of the net, get back and get boost, and he'll be lurking at the midfield waiting. He'll move up, take another shot through Turbo Pulsa. Gets it through all 3 defenders. No one in a position to shoot, and the ball lofted in an unappealing direction. But look at those. They keep this pressure on. The midfield rotation for EnVyUs holding on so strong. We're past halftime. They're still leading by 1.
They truly are. They're slowly breaking down Gale Force. We've seen a couple of double commitments already on that last drive. And just the way they retreat, turn around, they always make sure they get good, hard, clean hits. They're not getting anything weak off the side. They want to make sure that the possession and the next touch is theirs.
Remco up the middle of the field. Violent Panda try and clear it away, but the ball has, for the last minute and a half or so, has been in the orange continuously, and they just continue to put this ball on that back wall. Right now, probably boost starved. Maestro's going to put a shot in. This one finally goes in. It took so much pressure. EnVyUs is now up by 2.
I think last second Devo ran out of boost. Yep, he runs out right there. And I think everyone expected him to carry that a bit more, so it was some more patience from the goalies than you would have liked to expect, because they all know what Devo is capable of. So they sat and they waited, and then he just kept flying by. But by then, someone else from EnVyUs came to secure their goal.
Maestro puts that one in. It's a 2-goal game. EnVyUs up with 1:42 left to go. A win here would tie up the series and give Gale Force their first loss of the Brisk Summer Series. And we're right back to where we were a moment ago. Finally, we see Gale Force able to break out of their own half. Remco going to try and carry this one. He gets it past Kate up and over the top of Turbo. Violent Panda has to move back to net. See if he can clear this one. Gets the boomer downfield to an empty corner. Devo tries to fill it in, but K-Dop drops it to Violent Panda, who passes to Turbo. The shot to the net. The 3-man play. Gale Force is on the board.
Just when you think it might be the end, 0-2 with about under a minute and a half left. This K-Dop gentle touchdown to Violent Panda, who already knew Turbo was waiting in middle. I don't know if that was just map awareness or communication, but either way, somehow Turbo was able to put a lot of momentum on, even though his car wasn't really moving. He kind of had to sit and wait for it because the timing wasn't perfect, but it doesn't matter. They're able to put it in. Now they have a minute to score a goal, which is very doable for them.
They have a minute to score a goal, and they can play into 0 time, 0-second time to score as well. They can keep the ball in the air. K-Dop will look.
Super cherry picking over there.
Yeah, I was hoping to drop it to Violent Panda, I believe, but did not make contact. Turbo Pulsa makes, if he had made any other touch, it was in. But he gets the clear off of the post. And this one lofting. K-Dop might see Turbo. He knows he's in the air. So many threats in the air here for Gale Force, but they're able to get away. EnVyUs gets the clear, and now Devo threatening to extend the lead with the carry. The air dribble from the ground. Didn't even need the wall. 30 seconds remaining. Gale Force still down by 1. But looking stronger here in the very end of Game 2. Right now leading the series by 1. If the score stays the same, we'll be tied up at a game apiece. As K-Dop finds Turbo. The shot downfield. Nobody's home. It goes in. Tie game.
Somehow turning it around from their own half. I don't know where all of EnVyUs' defenders were. Maestro went up while Devo was dropping down. Remco was still retreating from boost on the opposite side of the pitch. And that defensive pass into a hard clear all the way towards net, putting it on target with only 12 seconds left.
Yeah, you saw the EnVyUs players really committing. Both Devo and Maestro looking
No
the
way.
score. Oh, Violent Panda has the opportunity. He can be a hero here. He's going to carry it over the top, but it's not there. Oh, no, go in. No, it's still in the air, though. Maestro to try and pop it. Turbo pulls it out. K-Dop keeps it alive. Violent Panda falling back. He's got space, and it'll go away. Devo saves it, and Remco keeps it alive. He wants to go for the other play. No, it'll touch. It'll go to overtime. 2 games in a row. My goodness.
Almost 3 goals in a minute and a half. They were nearly able to take that before overtime, but a second overtime we will go to. See if Gale Force can keep this undefeated streak.
Remco in the corner. You know they want to take it from him. They'd love to do it right here, not let them get any momentum going here in the grand finals. The pass out towards Maestro. K-Dop with the 50-50. He'll drop it to Turbo in the corner. He has to turn this one around in the direction of his own net, but he's able to carry it on the wall over the top of Maestro and pass Remco. This is a good opportunity. He keeps Devo in the corner as the Remco-Maestro pair rotate into net.
I like that. As much of a wasted boost as that could have been, Devo didn't want a 50-50 that close to his net, and it could result in a shot.
He brought up 2 defenders. Remco to pass over towards Maestro, but it's too fast. It goes across the net. Devo in to try and create another opportunity up high. It drops towards Remco. They'll put it in. EnVyUs gives Gale Force their first loss of the day.
EnVyUs must be feeling good. The first team to take a game off of Gale Force, who seemed to be just a titan so far today. Violent Panda couldn't get there in time, having to come from the post as opposed to inside of net. Remco will give the final goal and give EnVyUs their first win, I would guess, this series. But I meant to say Gale Force their first loss.
The Swedish boys, who aren't from Sweden, celebrating
really don't
there.
get it.
It's my favorite. I want to ask them. I just want to know.
Yeah.
I love it. And I also just appreciate we never see this on this stage. Teams actually coordinating their entire uniform. And then I was watching a replay where they were playing with them, like, oh, they look so good. And then the goal explosion went in, and it was the Hellfire. And I was like, how cool would it have been if it was the EnVyUs logo that popped up? Now I want team goal explosions.
You're getting greedy.
Dude,
we just got awesome goal explosions.
I love them. And I'm like, how cool would it be if it was just a big old N that popped up from the boys?
I actually agree with you, though. I'm with you on that one.
It'd be pretty cool. It'd be a fun way to support your team. But EnVyUs here, looking so strong all day. This game, they had to play such a monster defense there right at the end of 0 seconds to get into that overtime, and then they almost blew it right at the end of, or right in the very beginning of overtime as well. Devo with the great carry to get it away, and then some phenomenal passing to put in that final golden goal.
And I wanted to talk about that Devo carry outside of his own defense. Air dribbles on defense aren't very common, reasonably. And it's generally, most air dribbles, especially now with how good people are getting, tend to be a waste of boost because people can read them well. But essentially, he knew they were getting contested. That's what both of these teams do well, is just constantly contest while you're on offense and keep possession for 30, 40 seconds, maybe even a minute if they really keep it up. So he's like, you know what? I don't want to worry about this 50-50. I'm just going to carry it up. He doesn't have the pace and momentum to catch me right now, which means they'd have to dedicate a second defender for me, and they're not going to do that because there's 2 behind me.
Well, we saw a few times that Devo managed to create it. Oh, wow. Okay, K-Dop is just going to say, you missed it on the wall. Thanks. I'm going to score. Gale Force up already here in Game 3.
He's pissed they lost a game.
Yeah.
He's already. Oh my.
He wanted the perfect tournament. He wanted
recovery. He landed perfectly, got that jump immediately the moment his wheels touched the ground. We're able to beat out an EnVyUs defender easily for that goal.
He's actually nuts. Cashews and almonds and everything.
We already did the nuts and bolts pun.
I was surprised he didn't put a bolt into that pun somehow.
It was a lazy pun.
It was okay. I'll give it to him. I've heard a lot. I've said worse, so I can't really complain.
Fair enough.
Maestro, smooth play to get it around Turbo. Violent Panda will loft and get it to the corner. But Remco looking to keep this pressure on. Turbo will put it out to midfield. Devo hangs out. He lets it drop to the ground, opting for the dribble plays. We were just talking about how strong he is at dribbling. There's not many players who are good and consistent at getting an air dribble started from the ground. Usually they have to go off the wall. We saw him do it twice in the last game.
I like that he slowed it down, because clearing it would have completely lost possession. And even if he gets contested in his own half, I think they were in a better position to keep contesting. And as you can see now, they seem to have a lot of control. I might be lying. Okay.
They have control, but it's controlling a freight train that's falling down a hill with no brakes right now. I feel like
there's a bump on net.
Oh, Violent Panda, that one lofted high. Only Turbo pulls in the back. Maestro, can he get it off the wall out to Remco? Devo zoned out Turbo. This one will drop in. The breakaway goes through, and the Lightning goal scores.
It seemed this first one wanted to be a shot. Maestro wasn't able to get around it, so instead Remco, there's the duo right there. Yep. Always got each other's backs. And look at, again,
placement.
That's like the 6th shot I've seen today of just perfectly nestled in the corner, like a cookie cutter.
It could not be more in the corner than it is right there.
Yeah, that's actually true.
K-Dop's another shot on the net. The Remco-Maestro duo tie up the game. 3:30 left to go. Gale Force pressuring a lot in the half. Turbo completely open net. We've seen Gale Force score a few times right here. I'm not sure. The defensive rotations from EnVyUs leaving a few openings, and Gale Force has capitalized both times.
Yeah, that was that not so sweet part in the corner. You know, that kind of that sweet spot? That's the not so sweet spot.
Yeah.
It died instead of bouncing out. He wasn't prepared to bounce through. And I can't tell what's more impressive so far, the way that Turbo's playing or the fact that he also has the goal explosion. That they have. He also has.
He's like, oh, you're all using Hellfire?
Yeah.
Cool, I got that too. You know the pros, the minute new stuff comes out, they immediately complete their collections. We'll see Turbo in the corner here. Triple pass one, Remco. There's 3 players very tight for EnVyUs right now. Maestro's looking for the pass upfield, but can't find it. Has to move laterally. Now he'll finally gain ball control. He's up in the corner with Devo. Quickly watching, hoping Devo can just kill it out to him. Turbo's going to take a shot towards the net, not quite on target. The follow from Violent Panda is also high, but he's got the follow through. Look at that read. He drops it down. That's Gale Force up by 2.
Take a look at where Violent Panda came from. So wide, exactly the angle that ball was coming in, so he had the straight shot. That's how you make shots easier for yourself. When you take them from the side, you're going to have to try and like alter your momentum as quickly as you can because you're having to turn and like alter your car and get a front flip.
Yeah.
He took it head on, so it was an easy shot to get power on, and then he just followed it up, which is pretty standard for players these days.
Turbo also carries that over the top of Devo. Remco has to come in and get a savior medal from the side, and Gale Force is still threatening on offense as Violent Panda lofts this high. Hoping a teammate could come in to take the final shot. They get it past Turbo. K-Dop needs to move back to goal quickly as EnVyUs is trying to breathe down his neck. They'll get that one away into the corner. Maestro out to Remco. Turbo hanging on the wall, hoping for a different shot. This one falls just by the goal, and K-Dop gets the clear. But EnVyUs still with many opportunities to score. Still down by 2 as we've crossed halftime. 2 minutes left to go. We're all tied up at a game apiece in the series right now. Gale Force looking strong here in Game 3.
EnVyUs trying to get a hard clear just to reset. They want to be able to gather some boost and work together, but here we go. They're pushing down. All 3 players for Gale Force.
So bunched up there in front of the net. Remco gets a pass and Turbo with the block. They'll be able to space back out, look for a new opportunity. Maestro, what a dunk off the wall. But it lands right in front of Violent Panda. Now Remco takes this one away, 50-50 in the air. One out by K-Dop, into the corner. Put it on the wall, into the box. Both Maestro and Remco loose after that block. Remco still gets the save on the side. There, Devo and Maestro, a bit just a confusion on the EnVyUs defense right now. They're making the touches they need, but any more immediate pressure from Gale Force would have scored a number of times there on that last offensive. This one lofting out in front of the field. Remco and Devo right up on top of each other. This is like the 3rd time I've seen 2 EnVyUs players right on top of each other in the last minute. And as the final minute approaches, they've got to start scoring. They're still down by 2.
I think it's one of the flaws of knowing you can all do incredible things, and you all want to do it for your team. You want to get your team that win if you can, but I'm loving seeing that Remco and Maestro, even though we hadn't seen them play together in quite some time, still have it in them. There's still that duo.
Remco underneath K-Dop. What a smooth carry. He's going to try and pass to Devo, but Violent Panda interrupts out towards K-Dop, shot towards net, and Maestro has to save. He's going to have to do it again as Turbo pulls it, sets it into the middle. The shot from Violent Panda will not go through off of Devo's interference, and Remco gets a pass. Devo, the pass downfield. Can Maestro get there in time? No. He put too much power on it, and Turbo's able to get there first. 30 seconds remaining. They need 2. They're going to need 3 now. That is everything but the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they did the over-dedication. They didn't have much time left. They know they needed 2 goals in about 35 seconds. So they're going to dedicate everything they can, but you said it yourself, there was a pass up, I think it was Violent Panda trying to pass it up to, I think
Maestro.
It was Maestro. Wasn't able, he just hit it a little bit too hard. That's where looking for your teammates early on is really key. But I think the ball was a little too far in front of him as well, and he couldn't get full control. But that gave possession over to their opponents, and now it looks like Gale Force is going to take this game.
I think ultimately he should have waited on the pass. There was only Turbo in the back.
Yeah.
And if he had waited to force Turbo to make the decision, the way we saw Gale Force forcing EnVyUs to make decisions in game number 1, that would have been a different story. But here, as the clock expires, the ball will touch the ground. Gale Force takes the win in game 3, and they're now up by 1 in our best of 7.
Best of 7, though, so there's still a lot of time. They need to win at least 2 more to take it. EnVyUs have 3 ahead of them. A little more of a hill climb, but still pretty big for both of these teams. But that's the biggest goal spread we've seen. 4-1. To be fair, I don't really count the last one. When you have to dedicate a bunch because you're already down.
Sure,
those goals are like, yeah, that's not
but 3-1 is still to me. If you have a 2-goal buffer, that says something about the way the game is working. If it's not the 1-goal game where you could possibly play into 0-second overtime, there's really the way that they play at the end is going to be completely different. They have to commit, and that third goal often happens. But Gale Force coming together with what is this 14 shots again? We saw, I think it was Flipside we saw putting up those sorts of numbers.
Yeah,
and here we see Gale Force doing it as well against EnVyUs in the grand finals, who were held to just 5 shots, had to make 9 saves in this game. EnVyUs making great plays on offense, but having their work cut out for them on defense too.
I think you said it. There were so many times that people from EnVyUs were just 2 on a ball, 2 on a ball. There was no communication, maybe a bit of panic, maybe some frustration. It's really hard to tell from this perspective. I don't know what's going on in their comms. But we saw, Devo and Remco both go for a save, and they both had to try and body block it. They were getting in each other's way. And again, if there was any more follow-up to that, it would have been an easy goal for Gale Force. They would have made it a 4 to 5 goal spread if they had kept that up. I think that's their biggest flaw right now. They just need to worry on fixing that. Make sure you're going for things individually. Trust each other. And if there's a mistake, you'll make up for it. Being down 1 goal isn't the end of the world. But if you make it 4, 5, 6 goals because you're getting frustrated, now you're looking at something that you can't fix.
Oh, and the EnVyUs boys, the gloves have come off, the jokes are over, and they have all switched back to what looks like Bubbly Boost, and they immediately score. They're like, the Swedish thing was fun, but we're here to play. Remco, we're rocking the 20XX, rather.
I don't know about that. I think Remco and Devo both have the Brisk Summer Series on, the bubbles and the red and green. They are the embodiment of Brisk right now. They want to win.
Violent Panda. Switch back. I wonder if they all could collectively. No, Turbo Pulse is still decked out.
He was left
That's
out.
Funny. I think like don't tell Turbo.
He got picked last for kickball.
That's really funny that Violent Panda switched off it and Turbo didn't. Yeah, Maestro. See if he can block this one away from K-Dop. Gets the save. Violent Panda puts it right back into the box. EnVyUs wanting to take this very seriously here, wanting to get that first place finish. Devo sets one onto the crossbar and Violent Panda with the clear. Maestro to fall back, reposition after the boost. See if he can set anything up here for Remco. They get it over the top of Turbo Pulsa, and Remco continues to follow the ball. Maestro now out in the middle. Devo airborne, drops it far side, off the crossbar. Second time we've seen Devo hit the crossbar this game.
Yeah, it had not been working in his favor, and I think once he saw K-Dop not able to get contact on that, he should have taken his time. He had so much more space and time to take that shot, but he rushed it thinking he was under pressure, and he couldn't get the angle.
So the fakes coming through from Gale Force, but it does not result in a goal. Devo now with an opportunity past Turbo Pulsa. Violent Panda and K-Dot tangled up in the middle. No one was on that far side, so they'll be able to push it all the way onto the backboard. It'll be up to Turbo Pulsa to keep this offensive rotation moving. Gets it past Devo, drops it in front of the box, a dangerous situation. Violent Panda was not ready to take the shot. This midfield rotation, strong right now for Gale Force. They're keeping the pressure on in the blue. Maestro will touch it downfield. Back into the orange, Violent Panda laterally at midfield, and K-Dop back into the blue once more. You saw Violent Panda rotate back in the midfield. He still manages to get airborne and keep the pressure on. Even though it looked like he was backing off, K-Dop shot. 2 defenders up. Turbo Pulsa to drop it back into the box. A demolition onto Devo. Gives Turbo Pulsa the room to be aggressive right now. He took another shot but did not pull it through, and it'll be Maestro with the clear upfield. Devo trying to bully K-Dop in his own half. As we approach halftime, it's still a 1-goal lead for EnVyUs.
And I like the way EnVyUs sometimes will get a hard clear knowing they're giving up possession, but it lets them all reset. They find themselves in a better position. They're able to gather some boost, whether it be pads or the big ones in the corner, the full boost. But they know they're giving up possession temporarily, but it gives them a better chance to counterattack in the next drive.
Devo on the wall. To the top of Turbo. Follows this one through. Violent Panda's there first. Now Remco. Upfield. Devo, not sure what he wants to do. He's going to fall back and let Maestro move into the 1 position. Remco takes the 2. Now Maestro, again, a shot. 2 defenders commit to defending that one, but they get the solid boom all the way down the field.
Some might call that, what a save.
Ooh, the shot again. Oh. This one goes through. 2 defenders in net. Violent Panda finds the way through.
This time he was able to find the corner. I'm actually curious. Remco was coming from an okay spot, but he had to pre-jump that, not knowing where Violent Panda was going to put that, and he knows how strong Violent Panda is as a striker. So he tried to pre-jump that. I think maybe he tried to come across a little bit too soon if he'd waited. But in his defense, that shot should have been blocked well before he could take it.
Well, Remco has to make a save after Maestro goes for a unconventional style of kickoff and loses entirely. Had to make the save in goal. And we got a tie game here in game 4. As Gale Force, a win here would put EnVyUs on a match point. As Maestro gets his savior medal for the game. Devo over the top of Turbo. Try and wrap it around the corner. K-Dop with the read on the wall. He and Turbo both up high. And it'll be Devo. Lots of space to move it downfield. Maestro kills this one, keeps it on the ground, looks for the block on K-Dop, but he finds Violent Panda upfield. Turbo pulls it to interrupt, send this one towards the net. Devo has to punt it into the corner and give his teammates time to get in position. Remco's still trying to rotate back after that offensive push, and it'll be Devo who puts it away. Final minute of game 4 approaching, and we're still tied up at 1 apiece.
Almost getting another goal there. Now all 3 players, actually. Violent Panda's going to have to take this off of his own back wall, gather the boost. They want to turn this around, but again, being slow and patient, trying to pass to each other, carry it out, making sure he's staying behind the ball instead of just clearing it and giving up possession.
Violent Panda, he's sitting on the midfield boost, waiting for the boost to spawn. Second time I've seen a player do that today. Sometimes when you're in the right position and the thing you need is boost, you just sit there. Violent Panda now on the top, final 30 seconds. He has a run onto the net, he'll shoot it. He got it past the last defender, that's all it needed. Violent Panda putting his team on his back, scoring all the goals this game.
After this pinch, watch this trap. Remco really wanted that touch, but I think it bounced off the ceiling. He wasn't prepared for the velocity of the ball coming downwards toward the floor. He tried to correct himself, boost towards the ground, but it didn't matter. The trap from Violent Panda was too good, and he secured the goal for himself.
Now, we have seen EnVyUs be in this situation before and score and send us to overtime. Can they do it once more? Here's the opportunity. Maestro, it bounces, crossbar down, crossbar and out. And the long breakaway. Can they finish this one off? Turbo pulls up, drops it down. Remco sends it away. Final countdown. Violent Panda's keeping the pressure on. Remco with ball control, hoping to find Maestro, but K-Dop interrupts, sends this one in, completely sealing the deal here. Gale Force gonna go up 3 games in the series, and as we move into game 5, a win will send them home as champions.
Couple of things plaguing EnVyUs. Aside from communication, it seems to be accuracy as well. Devo with a couple of crossbar hits that are very uncharacteristic of him. He's one of the biggest strikers. We've seen him have some of... don't let them go in.
Come on.
We want it to end. We want to get to the next one. We want to see how this series pans out. But yeah, accuracy and communication, I think, are the things that are plaguing EnVyUs right now. Things that I've seen them do better at and fix. So I know this is not a permanent problem. This seems to be a temporary problem that they're dealing with this series. But as we know about Rocket League, consistency is everything. So being able to do that all the time is what puts you in a place to be a top team.
Yeah, I'd like to think... I like to think that the Hellfire explosion is like the spirit inside the ball. And like it explodes and it's like, oh, I'm free now. Like as it comes out. I don't know, just for some reason.
That makes this game a lot darker to me. It's like we've trapped some poor soul.
I mean, it makes you wonder, why are we playing the game with a bomb, you know?
Yeah.
Like.
That is true. It does seem pretty
maybe it's a service. Maybe they're like, maybe
unsafe.
maybe the ball's a fruit and they're like, man, the spirit inside this ball, we need to let these out. Let's play this game where whenever it goes across the goal, they explode and we let the spirit out. It's a service to the spirit
tree.
So
we beat it up a bunch first. And then we exploded.
I don't even know. Yes, it's part of it. You have to like get it ripe, you know.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Getting it around. EnVyUs, like you said, their hands full here with Gale Force, who's only dropped 1 game, and it was to EnVyUs here in this series in game 2. But you saw them. They get rid of the joke costumes and they switch back to what they're most comfortable with, and they still get beat by 2 goals.
It really just seems that they're not communicating well. Although there were a lot less double commits there on defense in that game. But just a couple of shots Devo could have had just on the crossbar. Now, I'm not saying they were easy shots that he missed. They were difficult shots, but they're Devo shots. Yep. There's not many things Devo can't make. As a matter of fact, I would go as crazy enough to say, give Devo enough time to practice, there's not a shot that he won't miss if there's some kind of angle for him to find. But he's been hitting crossbar a little more than usual, so I'm sure he's frustrated with himself, but it is an easy fix in comparison to others.
Both Remco and Devo up for that. And Maestro was on the wall. This should mean a siege for Gale Force. So Maestro sends it over to the side. Here comes the midfield rotation. Violent Panda onto the backboard and Remco over to the side. It'll be K-Dop to try and play this one through. Violent Panda will actually fall back, allow Turbo to send this one up. K-Dop on the side, uncontested, to wrap this one very high. Maestro in a tough situation, but he gets the roll off of the wall, but still shut down to the midfield again. They pull out all the defenders. K-Dop puts it in, and I'm going to tell you, it was that double commit at the very beginning of the game that set all this up.
Yeah, and then that demolition on Devo. Look at these two touches, Violent Panda to K-Dop. They knew they needed to capitalize right now. You've demolished somebody. What?
I just can't look at that explosion and not see it as a spirit being released from the ball now.
They knew they needed to capitalize immediately, or else they were going to run out of time of taking advantage of their power play, the fact that somebody was missing. That first touch from Violent Panda was beautiful, touching it straight down, and then K-Dop stretching the angle he had to make sure he put it towards target. That's how you can just turn it around immediately. Oh my.
My goodness, Devo almost with a ridiculous shot off the wall to tie up the game. Does not go through just yet. And then he gets baited out by Violent Panda and K-Dop on the wall. The shot going all the way down. Remco with the save in the box. It'll be Devo to set this one out to his teammate. They carry it high. Past Turbo Pulsa, but K-Dop on the wall. The positioning on defense from Gale Force, even when the Spider defense or the airborne defender misses the ball, there's someone immediately in the place to take the spot and move that ball out of their half. So even with a good setup, they're now back here on offense, trying to send this one through. It will be Turbo Pulsa in the back as Devo moves upfield. Gets the dunk over the top of Remco. The speed from the dunk gave it to Maestro, but K-Dop has the read in the back. Slowly moving this ball downfield and into position to try and score once more. Gale Force with so much control in this game. 3 minutes left. They get the win here. They go home with the money. I mean, I guess they both go home with money. They go home with the first place money.
With the most money.
The mostest of money, which is what they care about.
The winningest team of the day.
Because this is their job. K-Dop to try and pass to Violent Panda, who was not ready for a pass, but he'll still turn and create a favorable 50-50 Turbo Pulsa past two players. Remco has to move back. He has to trust Maestro to rotate in behind him so he can cut that off. And Maestro does not make contact and leaves it with Devo. This switches up the rotation, but Violent Panda right there, the quick read, knew where that was going, keeps this pressure on. Gale Force playing like a championship team right now, as they have all been so clean in every series today, only dropping one game so far in the Brisk Summer Series.
Ooh, I really like that shot from Remco. Trying to use the ground as a way to build up momentum and bounce it just under the crossbar, but again, he falls a bit too high.
Devo out to Maestro. Trying to create shot opportunities in the enemy half. Turbo Pulsa's touch, that's an interesting one. I don't think he really meant to send the ball back into his corner, as that will actually extend the offensive pressure here for EnVyUs. Maestro towards Remco. The shot is just wide of the goal. Remco to keep it on. Violent Panda onto the wall. Turbo Pulsa looking for the opportunity to clear. Gets it over Remco, but Maestro, knowing where he needed to be, knowing where that clear was going to go, keeps this ball in the orange, and EnVyUs is now starting to get the midfield rotation really humming. So Violent Panda tries to clear it away, but no follow-up. Kate up in the air. Here they go. Able to break out of their half. Into the blue now. Devo to Remco. Maestro feels backflip in the midfield, man. Kate up trying. Back and forth right now. Not able to capitalize on that mistake in the rotation. But so far, holding on to their one-goal lead as we approach the final minute. They hold on to this. They win it all.
Maestro last man back. Devo needed to come through.
That would have been
What was that?
That would have been the best shot of the day if that had gone in. Remco hit one like that earlier today, but he needs one right now. We've seen them score in the final minute already in this series. Here's another opportunity as Devo tries to drop it past Violent Panda. They've had so much ball control this game and no goals to show for it.
And only 3 shots.
Only 3 shots. These guys, the amount of time the ball has spent in orange territory for them to only have 3 shots is insane. Usually Siege is where you rack up those absurd numbers. They've only been able to put 3 on target with 30 seconds remaining. Devo towards Remco. The redirect around, tying the game up. EnVyUs, just when you want to count him out, comes back alive.
You can see Violent Panda just a deer in the headlights, and that he wanted to go for that save, and Remco just being that extra obstacle to make sure that it changed targets last second, redirects it towards the post, and they will tie it up with only 25 seconds left.
A win here from EnVyUs will send us to Game 6. But at this point, they got to win 3 straight. They want to take the win over Gale Force. K-Dop to Turbo. With 12 seconds left, they have the opportunity. K-Dop gets demoed, but that means Turbo and Violent Panda can be more aggressive. They can just gain ball control here. They have the opportunity. Here comes K-Dop. A bit of a mishap of a rotation from EnVyUs will give some opportunities. Devo gets the clear, but Violent Panda will send this one high. Maestro will let it touch. We'll go to overtime. It's only appropriate that Game 5 went to overtime as well.
Is this 3 overtimes between these two teams?
At least 3. I want to say 4.
I lost track.
There's so many, man.
It's too exciting.
K-Dop to Violent Panda. Into the corner. This is a good bounce for Gale Force. But Maestro right in the right spot. He just knew right where that was going to fall. Immediately kills it, and EnVyUs turns this one around. Turbo Pulsa now out towards K-Dop. Violent Panda on the wall, or on the goal, rather. Drop this one across. A soft touch. And Maestro's able to gain some ball control. Devo now with the follow-up over the top of 2. Is anybody home in the net? It'll be Maestro who tries to put in the final shot. Remco gets demoed. This is some nice space that Gale Force needed to get this ball out of their half. A good demo there. But they're in a half to actually put shots on net. So far, the ball has really not spent any time in the blue box. Remco with a shot. Violent Panda with a clear. K-Dop in the net. He'll let Turbo take it over the top. Another goal from Gale Force would give them the win in the Brisk Summer Series. As the first minute of overtime goes, Maestro to try and be a hero here. He'll pitch it off of Violent Panda and over to the side.
EnVyUs looking like they did on the bracket reset of the Season 3 LAN. Just clean, very little mistakes, constantly following through.
K-Dop. So much pressure here. So much small ball and small passing happening in that corner. We'll see Violent Panda out to challenge. Turbo Pulsa waiting in the corner. I think he's trying to bait in Remco. This might spell disaster for them, but K-Dop able to pick this one up, get it past Devo. Maestro off the wall. Turbo Pulsa's already in the air, but Maestro was too. He knew where that was going first, and it's into the corner from Violent Panda, who was lurking in the corner. Devo onto the backboard, nobody on the back wall, and K-Dop misses. Turbo Pulsa in the net. Oh, Remco misses crossbar. There's all the perfect setup, and they could not make it happen. Maestro's shot is a bit high too, and Violent Panda will carry it away to the corner. Right now, EnVyUs looking in control right now, 2 minutes into overtime. And the ball, for the first time, it feels like, touches the blue box.
As in control as EnVyUs has been, again, accuracy is what's holding them back. So many shots just missing target. Crossbar is their worst enemy right now.
Turbo Pulsa, Remco intercepts the pass to K-Dop. Violent Panda tries to put it past, but Remco intercepts again. They have to reset their rotation. K-Dop to try. Cleared away. That's 2 players up for EnVyUs. Violent Panda downfield. Turbo Pulsa in the air. Remco will interrupt and send it away. He and Devo on the side here. K-Dop gets a better piece of that one. Sends it into the corner once more with an opportunity to set it up. Turbo Pulsa now in with a shot towards net. Remco with a save. Sends it away. And K-Dop keeps the pressure on. Now Gale Force bullying Maestro in net to try and create an opportunity to score.
Uh-oh, there again. 2 have gone for this. This could be an open opportunity for Turbo.
Had a very wide rotation, but Maestro and Remco so high up. Violent Panda, Turbo Pulse is the most far back. He bumps one. Remco. Maestro can't make. Oh, but Devo gets the touch to send it away. K-Dop with the shot across, and it goes in. What a play! They tried to recover from the defensive lapse, but it just was barely not enough. And K-Dop will seal the deal. Gale Force wins the Brisk Summer Series.
Again, the end of that game, that entire overtime, they couldn't put a shot on target, and then the very last 20 seconds, nothing but a bunch of double dedications. So many people going for the same ball. And then on top of it, there was one more bump from Turbo going out. But to be fair, Turbo was just driving back. Everyone was in front of him. There was just a cluster of people. He's like, I guess I'll take one of you on the way out.
I like being a bulldozer. This is fun.
He's like, I'm a bust. There's no point. He just at least towers through. I think it was Maestro got hit, who got cleared. And I think he was the best opportunity for the next touch. But then it left Devo having to try and get the pinch on the crossbar. But if you mistime that wrong, you let it in. So we got there too early, and they were able to get the last goal. Gale Force, 4-1. They lost a single game this entire tournament.
They lost 1 game, and they won 11 straight.
Yeah.
These guys, crazy, crazy plays. Be looking out for them as they continue on here in our Rocket League scene. Season 4, they are a formidable force to be reckoned with. They have to make it through the qualifier, but I have no doubt with the way we've seen them before. 2nd place in DreamHack and 1st place here at the Brisk Summer Series. Well done to Gale Force as they got the win. And I want to hear what the analysts have to say about this one. Over to you guys.
Thank you.